Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox, and I despair for the future. Our universities are not preparing our young people today to be the future leaders of tomorrow. And how are they doing this? They're protecting them, they're safeguarding them, they're mollycoddling them. They're putting warnings of difficult content on books, classic books, books like To Kill a Mockingbird, a book that should be compulsory. And they're finding that these books have difficult concepts that challenge the reader. That is the whole point of the book. So how can we have leaders who will look on their experiences to make those difficult decisions when they've never had to make a difficult decision or face a difficult concept before in their life? Well, they quite obviously can't. Let's look at this article. So, university academics are told that classic books can hurt their well-being and have been urged to stop reading uncomfortable content. Wow. Just wow. How is this preparing people for the real world, which, as anyone who's not a student knows, is brutal? Queen Mary University of London has provided a reading list for staff there. It includes novels to educate them on issues of equality, diversity and inclusion, because that's all they teach at university these days. You don't actually learn anything except equality, diversity and inclusion, the woke left Marxism creeds. You don't learn history, physics, maths anymore. It's all to do with right think, right speak. It's appalling. And a waste of £27,000 or whatever it is now to get a degree. Texts include Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird feature on the reading list, and it also comes with a content warning from the Human Resources Department. It shouldn't have a content warning. To Kill a Mockingbird should be compulsory reading, and the whole point of that book is that you do feel uncomfortable, that it does upset you. It is a classic, and it should be compulsory, and anyone who reads that and comes away unmoved or unchanged was probably not quite there as a human being. They're told to issue trigger warnings to protect undergraduate students from some course content, and now academics are being urged to stop reading uncomfortable content to protect their own well-being. I mean, this is just unbelievably woke and unbelievably damaging to these students. Like I say, these students will grow up and they exist in a bubble of niceness. But that isn't the world. They're not being prepared to go out into the world to face the world as it is. So Queen Mary University of London has provided a reading list for staff to educate them on issues of equality, diversity and inclusion we mentioned. It contains classic school texts such as Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird and the children's book The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. The list also comes with a content warning from the Human Resources Department that states some of the following books and resources may have content and refer to sensitive issues that some individuals may find upsetting. That's the point. Do you not get it? And if you are going to stop teaching difficult subjects and difficult texts because some snowflake student that's never had to face reality before might get hurty fifis, then said snowflake student needs to pack up his bags and piss off back to mummy because he's got no business being in university. If you feel uncomfortable with anything, then please stop your activity. It's important that you look after your own well-being. I'm sorry, I read this book when I was 12. This book, Harper Lee, To Kill a Mockingbird, I read that when I was about 12 years of age. And yes, it was an upsetting book. But you know what? I am not a snowflake. I was a 12-year-old who read it, was upset at some of the passages I was reading in it, finished the book and went, wow, what a great book. And to this day think it is still one of the best books ever made. Other literary works recommended to staff at the university include Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. That's a whole bag of laughs. Moby Dick by Herman Melville. Again, psychology, psychopathy, obsession, difficult subjects. And Zadie Smith's White Teeth. Not read that one. Staff are also directed toward a number of texts on whiteness, white fragility and advantage. So they're racist as well. They include the 2017 bestseller Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race by Rennie Edo-Lodge and a blog called The Sugar-Coated Language of White Fragility. Because you have to attack white people. Imagine you had exactly the same things, but we simply attacked black people for black privilege. Would it go far? Would that sail? Would that kite fly? I don't think so. But it's okay in universities now, these Marxist bastions of anti-white racism, for this sort of thing to go on. The Open University has issued trigger warnings for all but one of the texts studied in its English literature from Shakespeare to Austen module. Seriously. Young girls back in the 1800s were reading Jane Austen. They didn't need little trigger warnings. Are we saying that today's students are less robust than 18th century 14-year-old girls? Tells you something, doesn't it? Meanwhile, Warwick University has warned undergraduates that Thomas Hardy's Far from the Madding Crowd depicts the cruelty of nature in descriptions of dying sheep. Yeah, because it's real. You're not causing offence. You're teaching children reality. The Aberdeen University students have been told they can opt out of discussions on a module about Geoffrey Chaucer. Yeah, kiss my arse. Yeah, that's the Miller's Tale, I believe. Is it the Miller's Tale? Sticks his arse out the window and gets it kissed. Anyway, and the medieval writing course, as the course sometimes entails engagement with topics that you may find emotionally challenging. The Wife of Bath. The move by Queen Mary has been criticised by Chris McGovern, chairman of the Campaign for Real Education, who said trigger warnings were spreading like a virus. Having spread from students to lecturers, there is now very real danger that the trigger warning virus will infect and harm many aspects of daily life. What next? Trigger warnings for being a meat eater, a white male, a car driver, or is it already too late? Oh yeah, everyone's a hate figure now, but especially if you're white. And, you know, oh look at you, you're white and eat meat. It makes me a complete bastard, I suppose, but I don't care. I can't do anything about being white, but I'm still going to eat meat. His criticism was echoed by Frank Ferrudi, emeritus professor of sociology at Kent University, who said, academia's obsession with insulating people from sensitive issues has led to a situation where the university is gradually transformed into a clinic where students and staff are viewed as potential patients. He added, with the normalisation of warnings, reading itself is increasingly treated as a health risk. And that's what they want. They want actually people to stop reading because they want an uneducated, thick population that are easily manipulated. That's it. That's Marxism summed up. Marxism 101, thick, stupid people that we can control. And that's what universities are doing. Anyway, I shall finish there and come up. These people have no concept at all of real life. Give them Charles Dickens. Give them the first 100 pages of David Copperfield. They'll be pulling their hair out. Nicholas Nickleby, God almighty, Wackford Squeers at Do the Boys Hall. That'll teach them a thing or two. If they had schools like that, they'd have a reason to complain. The old Curiosity Shop. Mind you, if you read The Death of Little Nell without laughing, you haven't got a sense of humour, really. But, it's awful stuff. It's absolutely awful stuff. The cruelty in Great Expectations. It's... Dickens wrote the most awful stuff. But brilliantly written. So they're banning these books. They're criticising these books. They're putting warnings on these books. But these are concepts that exist today in real life. And these students are coming out and they're ill prepared for it. And it's sad. And they're spending a lot of money and they're coming out with pointless education. Because everything is going to be tainted with wokery. There's no real education anymore. Anyway, if you like what you hear and see on the channel, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Ring the bell for notifications of future output. Leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video, and until next time, stay safe, stay well, keep away from woke politics in university, and goodbye.